Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again to hit you with a video. Now, this video right here comes out of Shreveport. Yes, Port City, Louisiana. And big shout out to everybody in Shreveport, all the way from Cedar Grove, all the way down to Motown, Allendale, Queensboro, Cooper Road, Hollywood Heights, Allendale, everywhere. Stony Hill, we all know where it's at. And if anybody I left out, which is quite a few neighborhoods or whatnot, big shout out to you all also. Now, I did a story about this last year around April, and it was due to the nature of the crime and what happened. We had a guy goes by the name of Jonathan Robinson who decides the best thing to do to stop his, I guess what you could say, his side chick or his girlfriend, because allegedly, the guy was married. So I heard he was married. And the story goes pretty much, because I heard different stories. It really don't matter now. But at the same time, just for a little clarity. And for my people in the Port City area, you could chime in also. She was FaceTiming his wife, basically trying to apologize to her or whatnot. But they said that she was like trying to be messy at first. And I'm not trying to throw anything up on the deceased, Miss Nunu. Yes, well, that's Nunu's her nickname. Not trying to throw anything up on her, but many people have said that also. But, I take the higher road because I was basically in defense of her, because no matter what, this woman was a mother of 3 children, and she did not deserve to die like that. So my heart and my condolences goes out to her family, her mom, and her children also, because who's going to take care of the children? I'm pretty sure the mom will. And big shout out to her mom, because I know it's a hard thing to lose your daughter to this type of senseless violence. Now, allegedly, some kind of way, the Nunu was talking back and forth with Jonathan's girlfriend, so I heard. And Jonathan didn't take too kind to it, so he drove, they say, from Houston to Shreveport, which is very crazy to me to drive that far just to kill somebody or scare them. Now, some people say he went there to scare her. Some people say he went there to kill her. It doesn't matter. The point is she wound up dead. So while he was there, allegedly, some people said at first it was her brother was there, then a cousin or somebody else. So please let us know in the comment section who was in the house with Nunu when this altercation took place. Because if you remember the video, you can go back and watch them on my old videos in the archives or other channels, even the news station. It shows the footage. It was somebody else in the house. I just can't really recall who it was. So please chime in the comment section and let us know who was in the house with her. Now, she was basically pleading for her life, telling the wife, the girlfriend, whoever, Jonathan, the other person was, that she was sorry on Facebook Live. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty sad to see anybody crying in fear also. But this is what happened when you mess with certain type of people. Now, I heard certain things about this guy, and I gave him the nickname Tough Face Johnson, even though his last name ain't Johnson. He just got a tough face, period, point blank. Not to be funny or anything, but just to make a point. But, it's not worth you throwing your life over just to intimidate somebody or just to so-called be bad. Because guess what? Once you get behind them jail cells and stuff, and he also had a shootout with the police, wounded one. So not only did he get a life sentence for killing her, they were trying to give him the death penalty. And in the state of Louisiana and also Texas, Mississippi too, he would have got the death penalty, especially in Louisiana. They still getting them out of here at least once every other year or once a year, period. So they would have gave it to him, even if he had to go sit in Angola for 10, 20, 30 years. They still would have gave it to him. But the reason why they didn't, and this would shock me, because most parents be like, kill that son of a, what? The mom basically pretty much stepped in, because he was reaching out to the mom. And this is her words, not mine. I'll leave the link below to the video where you all go check it out, when she was speaking with the news station. And she said she really believe in, killing nobody or whatnot. And this is a woman that just lost her child. Now, how many of you all could say that, So, I tip my hat to her, because I believe in an eye for an eye. I'm just sorry. You feel me? Maybe one day later on, but I'm sure a lot of people think the same way, whether they're young or old. You take mine, got to take one of yours, period. Now, he basically reaching out to her, professing that he was, of course he was guilty, but saying, he's very much sorry. He wasn't thinking or whatnot. He just got caught up in the heat of the moment. And that's understandable at the same time, but the deed is also done. It's good that you apologize, but you're apologizing to save your own self from the death penalty, because you're going to get life regardless. And then also to have a shootout with the Shreveport police. And it's a miracle that he was able to survive that, because those cops, you get out trying to act bad, you're going to have about 20 in your ass. But anyway, so it's a miracle he survived that. He ended up wounded one. So not only did he get a life sentence for killing Nunu, Renita Williams, he also received an extra 100 years, which is natural life anyway, for shooting at the police officer and wounded one. So either way it go, he was going to get life, but they were trying to give him the death penalty. And the reason why he didn't get it was because of the mom, how she stepped in and intervened. He was corresponding with her, going back and forth, but she just didn't let nobody know. And she really didn't have to. So if the mom forgive him, I mean, who is us not to forgive the guy? Period, point blank. That's just the way I think. If she's going to forgive him, and she says she forgive, but she can't forget. Yes, that is an old saying, and it's so true. I forgive you, but I can't forget what you have done. Of course, when you took my child, but I understand where she was coming from. So big shout out to her. I'm going to read a snippet from this story, and I'm going to give my opinion. Surely as we go. Robinson pleads guilty to murder, live stream on social media. And that right there would really trip me out. And just the nature of what he done and how he done it. That's why I kind of went off on a deep end calling him Tough Face Johnson. But he do got a damn tough face. But at the same time, is it worth it? Period, point blank. If you messing with two women and, you're going to have one being more jealous than the next one, of course you can expect those type of things. Cause just like if your girlfriend or wife is messing with two guys, don't you think something gonna happen? They're gonna bump heads or one gonna say something to the other one? Let's just be for real. Men and women do it, but to go a step further and kill somebody and then live stream it like ain't nothing gonna happen and then think that you're gonna beat these charges, there's no way in hell. So the moment you decided and you made that commitment in your heart and mind and soul to drive up there and do this, if it went to that point or not, the point is, once you commit to something, you don't know how it was gonna turn out. You know how she was gonna react. But due to the fact of they say that he's, known for being a bad boy, head bust or whatnot, and that just means somebody that put in work, a street guy, that I guess he figured that, he can do this and won't nobody say anything about it. But the police had a different idea because he's lucky to survive that shootout, period, point blank. Let's go and get started. Now, Jonathan Robinson, the Shreveport man who tormented and then killed his girlfriend while it was live streaming on social media, pled guilty Thursday. He pleaded out to natural life, basically, because natural life, you can't give that back. Once you take that plea bargain, you're not going to give that back. Now, maybe in your state, you can let me know in the comment section, you can, but down south, when you plead out, you begging for mercy, like on Braveheart with Mel Gibson, you asking for mercy. You're throwing yourself at the mercy of the court. So whatever happened is at the mercy of the court. But it was either this, like the lawyer said, and I'll leave a link in the description below to that video where he said, either you plead now or we go all the way, no more plea, which means we're going to have to take this trial. And you know what's going to happen when you go to trial in, say, Louisiana for this, killing this person on live stream, which proves that you've done it. And then also a shootout with the police and injuring one. So either way it goes, you're going to face that death penalty. They were trying to get this guy first-degree murder, period, which I think they did charge him with first-degree murder. Now, it was a plea agreement that was acceptable to his victim's family. See, the key word, the victim's family. So he better thank the family, period, because they was gonna give him the death penalty. Regardless, ain't nothing nobody could do. Some people say, well, his sister's a police officer. It don't matter because guess what? He was shooting at the police. Period, point blank. So it don't matter who your sister is or whatnot. Your sister can be the mayor. Once you get caught in this type of situation, you get caught up in these type of things, you can just kiss your ass goodbye. Now, it was acceptable to his victim's family because they go on the victim's family most time when it's involved a death. That imposed a sentence which all but assures he would die in prison and also fulfilled his wish to plead guilty for what he did. Like, go and get it over because either you sit in this jail for another year or two and go crazy in a small confinements, or you can hit DOC, Department of Corrections, and at least have a little space. Even though you're still in prison locked up, it's different than when you're in jail. So a lot of the guys be just ready to plead out and just go up that road they call to prison, whether you have your hunts, you have your Angola, which you got to have some time to go to Angola because I think they don't accept nobody for under, 10, 15, 20, 30 years now. And I don't know how the hell, and I ain't trying to sound funny, but I don't know how the hell Lil Boosie was able to go there and beat all them damn charges. But more power to him, I'm just saying. But most people that go there, ask Corey Miller, see murder. Most people that go there end up standing there a very long time, period, point blank. Now, the plea came after cattle prosecutors dropped their intention to seek a death sentence. Robinson, 37 years old, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Renita Nunu Williams, with 100 years tacked on for shooting at police officers. So either way it goes, he wasn't going to beat the murder charge, period. They were going to give him life for that anyway, but they were trying to get to death. But either way it went, he would have wound up getting life sentence at the least life, at the most death, due to the fact of the shootout. Like I said, it's amazing that he survived the damn shootout with the police. Now, Robinson admitted shooting Williams, 27, after he kicked in the door of her home on Natalie Street last April. Williams was shot with a rifle while she was screaming an apology live on Facebook to Robinson's new girlfriend. So it was his girlfriend, excuse me. It wasn't his wife like I asked earlier in the video. And this is what authorities said and also what we've seen. So not only was this woman, and that would affect me so much because you have people saying all kinds of negative things about her, but you have to think about this. This woman is a mom. No matter what you may perceive or however she may be, I don't know this woman. I don't think I know it's from people from Shreveport chiming in, people that knew her, telling me what kind of person she was. And everything I heard was pretty good. She did hair, she did other things for people, and basically just trying to maintain herself, period, with 3 kids. So, it takes a lot out of a person. But at the same time, for her to even get on Facebook Live, and sure enough, she was scared and fear because she was scared of him. She did that and still wind up dead. That was like an ultimate insult because you could have just, if you was going to do that, period, which I wouldn't advise that. But if you was going to do that, at least leave her alive. Even though you probably still would have got a charge for burglary or something, entering an inhabited dwelling when you actually breaking somebody's house, or they can give you whatever. So he would have probably got something that she would have called the police. You should have just left it alone. But to go a step further and pull a rifle and then shoot her and then have a shootout with the police, that's just totally overboard. I mean, there's no place in society for people like that. We have to call a spade a spade. It don't matter what color you are, period, point blank. Now, after his sentencing was over and he was about to be led from the courtroom by bailiffs, Robertson asked to speak to his victim's mom. I'm sorry I did what I did. This is Robinson talking to Miss Anita Williams. Fighting back tears, Williams, who earlier had received an apology letter written from jail by Robinson, told him she accepted his apology and had forgiven him. And that's what it all matters. It don't matter what us bloggers say. It don't matter what nobody else say. This is her mom, Miss Anita Williams, saying that she forgave him. But she also said that she wouldn't forgive. But the point is, it was pretty much left up to her because at that moment, the roles were kind of reversed, just like how Renita Williams' life was in Robinson's hand that day when he decided to go over there and show out on Facebook Live. So has it been the next year, his life would be in her mom's hand because her mom could have did the same thing. Now imagine if her mom had as much malice that he showed Nunu that day. He would be already on death row, period, point blank. They was going to give it to him, period. They were just waiting for the mama. Now, also, he says, I know I hurt a lot of people. Myself, Robinson said, I hope one day you forgive me for what I did. She says, I forgave you already, said the sobbing mom. She was crying. Robinson apologized to her a second time, and Anita Williams responded, I accept your apology. Before he was escorted from the courtroom, Robinson said, I'm sorry for the police too, which means he basically said that he's sorry for everything. And see, this is what happens. We can put on this image or whatnot, but when you realize you got your life facing in front of you, because it wasn't like this guy was out here robbing banks. Whatever he did, we don't know about that. That ain't none of our business. We don't know. We can't speculate. But, evidently he had some kind of care for his life. Because out of that, or he'd be some kind of serial killer. So you realize that once you sit down and you realize you finna lose it all, or you have a chance of losing it all. And in this case, you already knowing that you're going to lose it all. And you have to ask yourself, why did I let my anger, my emotions get the best of me? Was it worth it? Because not only is the kids left without a mom, but this person done died. And also the mama is broken forever. You have to think about all those things. Now, also, one officer was hit in the wrist by a bullet fired by Robinson while he was inside of Renita Williams' home. More than a dozen bailiffs were in the courtroom Thursday in case of an outburst by Robinson, who was shackled hands and feet. Attorneys John Magrisso and Everin Visawant, who represented Robinson on behalf of Baton Rouge Capital Conflict, said the plea agreement had been an ongoing process. They were pretty much waiting to see if the victim's family and the mom was okay with it. So they had to send in special prosecutors, special attorneys, due to the fact that this could result in a death penalty. That's the reason why they did that. Now, Jonathan said everything that needed to be said, Magrisso said. Visawant said they were glad to see a resolution for all families involved. Outside of the courthouse, Anita Williams admitted discussions of a plea deal had been ongoing for months, but she did not tell anyone. Had Robinson been prosecuted for first-degree murder, he would have faced a possible death sentence. Anita Williams said that's not something she wanted. She did not want to see this man die, even though he took her child. Now, how many of you moms would say the same thing? I know, if that was my kid, I would have a hard time. And how I feel right now, I would have just say, you know what, eye for an eye, let him die. He killed my baby. And I'm sure some of you all, to each their own. You can't tell nobody how to react when somebody murdered your child, period, point blank. Now, the mom is saying this right here. She says, I didn't believe in killing nobody. I never believed in killing nobody, not just him, nobody, not even an enemy. So why? She said, I'm glad justice has been served. Everything is gone. Everything's okay. So I feel a little better now. Now I can rest. Now me and my family can go on with our life. It's over with. It's no more. So there's nothing else to talk. The decision, done been made between us and everybody else. So we feel a lot better. She also said Robinson had reached out to her at least 3 times, but she also didn't disclose that to anyone. She says, I forgive him, but I would never forget, she said. Robinson's demeanor in the courtroom was similar to previous court hearings from the outset of the case. Robinson had expressed profound remorse for what he did and had tried to plead guilty, like to hurry up and get this over with, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get life. You're going to get life, and at the least 50 years, which is still a life sentence. But in the state of Louisiana, it's going to be the death penalty or life, and you're going to take that plea deal. And if you want to go to trial, guess what? We'll throw it out for another year, and you're still going to get the same result. Now, until Thursday, prosecutors wouldn't agree because they had filed notice to seek a death sentence. They already filed the motion to seek the death penalty, so they was already in line and waiting for that. Now, a defendant cannot plead guilty to the death penalty. You have to be tried and convicted by a jury, and they maybe not be your peers, but it takes a jury. You have to go to trial for that. In one of the previous court hearings, Robinson implored Judge Emmanuel to let him plead guilty and get all of this over with. So he already knew. It's just a point. A lot of them just can't stand to sit in them little jail cells and stuff, and they'll rather go to prison because you already know it's pretty much lights out. Now, in another, he sobbed as a detective recounted the crime when members of the victim's family began to cry and started walking out of the courtroom. The shackled Robinson tried to overturn the defense table, toppling backwards to the floor and taking a chair with him. Bailiffs calmed him down before picking him up, putting him back in the chair, and allowing the hearing to resume. So pretty much, it's kind of like chaotic in there. And like I said, I will leave to the videos in the description below, so you can check out that link and please follow it. And also to Miss Anita Williams, I'm very sorry about your daughter Nunu, but at the same time, hopefully you all can find closure in this, because you have to understand it. You can't get people to really see that. People are dead, people are in prison, and people are going through all kinds of things on the run just because they let their emotions get the best of them. Do not let your emotions get the best of you. Learn to control your anger and your emotions and judge everything on your Libra scale, whatever scale you have. Learn to judge the pros and the cons. Is it worth it? Is it worth me going through this? Because you know what this is going to entail. Number one, if they didn't catch you, you would be on the run. America's Most Wanted had the U.S. Marshals, everybody after you. You have to be on the run your whole life because ain't no statute of limitation for murder also. So you have to take all that consideration. Ask yourself this and look yourself in the mirror. Is it worth it? Am I ready to risk it all? Because that's what's going to happen. Y'all think about that today. And also, the thing is, and I can't tell you what to do. You're going to cheat, you're going to cheat, but be faithful to who you are with, whether it's man, woman, whatever. Be faithful to that person, because when you open up these doors, anything can happen, because now you're playing with other people's emotion just to fulfill your pleasure. Let me know what you all think in the comment section below. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share this video with your family and friends. And like I say, my condolences goes out to the Williams family, to Anita mom especially, and also more especially to her children, because it's a sad situation that you lose your mom to something so violent and something so ignorant, because all this could have been avoided. But this is what happened when people who think they bad try to control people and think they're untouchable. Something will humble you, just like something humbled Mr. Jonathan Robinson. And it's sad that it took this, but let this be a lesson to you all. Trying to play tough and trying to play bad. They got a place for you, period. Whether it's a penitentiary cell, or whether it's a lethal injection chair, or whether it's a cemetery, they got a place for you. Remember that and humble yourself. I'm out.